The knocking started soft, almost hesitant, then grew more insistent. Catherine stirred in her bed, confused. She glanced at her phone. 4:17 a.m. Her heart began to race as she pulled on her robe and moved quietly through her apartment toward the front door. Through the peephole, she saw him, David Martinez, her neighbor from across the hall. He was still in his pajama pants and a worn t-shirt, his hair disheveled, his face etched with worry. She opened the door quickly. "David, what's wrong? Is it Lily?" David shook his head. "No, she's asleep." "Catherine, He ran a hand through his hair, clearly wrestling with something. "I need you to promise me something. Don't go to your office today. Please, just trust me on this." Catherine blinked, trying to wake up fully. "What are you talking about?" "I can't explain everything right now," David said, his voice low and urgent. "But I'm asking you, begging you, don't go in today. Call in sick. Work from home, anything. Just please, don't go to that building." Catherine studied his face. She'd known David for nearly 2 years, ever since he and his 7-year-old daughter Lily had moved into the apartment across from hers. He was quiet, kept to himself mostly, devoted entirely to his little girl. His wife had died when Lily was just 3. Catherine had learned that much from their occasional conversations in the hallway or the building's laundry room. He'd always been kind but reserved, polite but private. This was the most urgent she'd ever seen him. "David, you're scaring me." "What's going on?" He glanced down the hallway, then back at her. "I work security night shift at a data monitoring center. I can't tell you more than that without breaking about 15 different regulations. But I saw something tonight, something that involves your building. Hartwell Tower, right? 32nd floor." Catherine's breath caught. She was the CEO of Hartwell Financial Services. Very few people knew exactly where she worked. She'd never told David specifically, though she supposed it could have come up in conversation. "How do you know where I work?" "Lily mentioned it once. She said the nice lady across the hall runs a big company in the tall building with the green glass. She was proud because you always take time to ask her about school." David's expression softened for a moment, then hardened again with worry. "Catherine, I could lose my job for this. I could face criminal charges for breaching confidentiality. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't warn you." Catherine's mind raced. She had an important board meeting at 9. Year-end reports to review, a presentation to finalize. But something in David's eyes made her pause. "Can you tell me anything else?" David hesitated. "There's going to be some kind of incident. I don't know exactly what or when. Just that the building's been flagged. Multiple agencies are involved. That's all I can say. Please, Catherine, stay home today." She looked at him, or really looked. His hands were trembling slightly. There were dark circles under his eyes. This was a man who'd made an agonizing decision to come to her door, knowing the potential cost. "Okay," she said quietly, "I'll stay home." The relief that washed over David's face was profound. Thank you. "I'm sorry I can't tell you more." "No, thank you for risking so much to warn me." Catherine paused. "Will you be safe?" "Your job." "I was careful about how I accessed the information," David said. "I hope I covered my tracks well enough. But even if I didn't, some things are more important than a job." After he left, Catherine stood in her doorway for a long moment. Then she went to her phone and sent a message to her executive assistant. "Not feeling well. Working from home today. Please reschedule the board meeting." She made coffee as dawn began to break, her mind spinning. Should she warn others? But David had been so careful not to tell her details, probably to protect her legally as much as himself. She sent another message. "Actually, let's have everyone work remotely today if possible. Tell the team to stay home unless absolutely necessary to be in office." Her assistant, bless her, didn't question it. "Will do." "Feel better, boss." Catherine tried to work from her laptop, but found herself distracted, checking news sites obsessively. 8 o'clock came and went. 9 o'clock, nothing. She was beginning to wonder if David had been mistaken when, at 9:47 a.m., her phone exploded with notifications. Breaking news. Federal agents had raided Hartwell Tower. Not her companion but Meridian Tech on the 18th floor. Something about financial fraud. embezzlement, ties to organized crime. The building had been evacuated. Several arrests made. Catherine's hands shook as she read the reports. If she'd been in her office, she would have been trapped in the building for hours during the lockdown. The stress, the chaos, the potential danger if anything had gone wrong. She sat down heavily on her couch. Around 2 in the afternoon, she heard David's door open across the hall. She quickly went to her own door and opened it. David was coming home, still in his work clothes, a security uniform she'd never seen him wear before. He looked exhausted but met her eyes. "You saw the news," he said quietly. "I did, David. You saved me from hours of chaos at the very least. Possibly worse." He nodded. "I'm glad you listened." "Did you? Are you in trouble?" David's expression was hard to read. "I had a long conversation with my supervisor. They're investigating how I accessed certain information. But they also acknowledged that I didn't reveal any classified details, and I only warned one persona, someone whose safety I was concerned about." He managed a small smile. "I might face disciplinary action, but I still have my job for now." "I'm sorry you had to risk anything for me." "I'm not," David said simply. "Some decisions are easy, even when they're hard." "Does that make sense?" Catherine nodded, feeling her throat tighten. "It does." "Thank you, David." "Truly." They stood there in the hallway for a moment, a new understanding between them. "How's Lily?" Catherine asked. "She's at school. Doesn't know anything about Thesa. I'll keep it that way. No need to worry her." "You're a good father." "I try. It's just the two of us, so." He shrugged. Catherine made a decision. "Would you and Lily like to come over for dinner tonight?" "As a thank you." "Nothing fancy, just pasta and maybe a salad." David looked surprised, then pleased. "She'd love that. She asks about you all the time. Wants to know if the nice CEO lady would like to see her drawings." "I would very much like to see her drawings," Catherine said warmly. That evening, David and Lily arrived at 6:30. Lily wore a purple dress and brought a folder bulging with artwork. She was a bright, chatty child with her father's kind eyes and a smile that lit up the room. "Daddy says you had to stay home from work today because you weren't feeling good," Lily said as they settled at Catherine's small dining table. "Are you better now?" "Much better, sweetheart," Catherine said, glancing at David. "Your dad gave me some very good advice." Over dinner, Lily dominated the conversation, telling Catherine about her school play, her best friend Emma, her cat named Butterscotch. David watched his daughter with undisguised love, occasionally interjecting to gently redirect her stories when they wandered too far off course. Catherine found herself relaxing in a way she rarely did. She'd spent so many years focused on her career, building her company, proving herself in a male-dominated industry, fighting for every promotion and every success. She told herself she didn't have time for relationships, for friendships, for anything beyond work. But sitting here with David and Lily, she realized how lonely she'd been. After dinner, Lily showed Catherine her drawings of elaborate scenes of princesses and dragons, families holding hands, houses with too many windows and rainbow skies. "This one's my favorite," Lily said, pulling out a picture of 2 stick figures, one tall and one small, holding hands under a sun. "That's me and Daddy. After Mommy went to heaven, Daddy said we'd take care of each other forever. And we do." Catherine felt tears prick her eyes. She looked at David, who was washing dishes in her kitchen, giving them space. This man who'd risked his career to keep her safe. This father who'd rebuilt a life for his daughter from the ashes of loss. "Your daddy's a very special person," Catherine said softly. "I know," Lily said matter-of-factly. "He's the best daddy in the whole world." As the evening wound down and David prepared to take Lily home, the little girl hugged Catherine tightly. "Can we have dinner again sometime? I like you. I like you too, sweetie." And yes, absolutely. After they left, Catherine stood in her apartment, which suddenly felt too empty. She pulled out her phone and sent a text to David. "Thank you again for everything. You and Lily are welcome here anytime." His response came a few minutes later. "Thank you for seeing us. Not just today, but really seeing us. That means more than you know." Over the following weeks, dinners became a regular occurrence. Sometimes at Catherine's apartment, sometimes at David's. Lily would do homework at Catherine's kitchen table while David and Catherine cooked together, talking about everything and nothing. Catherine learned that David had been an army intelligence analyst before his wife's death. He'd left that work to find something with regular hours, something that would let him be present. For Lily, the security job paid less, had less prestige, but it gave him what mattered: a time with his daughter. "People sometimes look at me like I gave up," David told her one evening after Lily had fallen asleep on Catherine's couch. "Like I took a step down. But I didn't give up anything. I chose what mattered most." "That's not giving up," Catherine said. "That's wisdom." "I think I've spent so long climbing that I forgot to ask myself why I was climbing in the first place." David smiled. "You built something impressive, led with integrity. That matters too." "But at what cost?" Catherine wondered aloud. "I'm 46 years old. No family, no close friends. Just work and more work." "That can change," David said gently. "If you wanted to." Catherine looked at him, this quiet, strong man who'd knocked on her door at 4 a.m. because he couldn't bear the thought of her being in danger, who'd risked everything because some things were more important than rules and regulations. "I think I do want it to change," she said softly. 3 months later, David received a commendation at work. Despite the initial investigation, his supervisors recognized that his discretion had actually prevented a civilian from being caught in a dangerous situation. His judgment had been sound, his methods careful, his intentions pure. He came home with the certificate and showed it to Lily, who cheered and insisted they celebrate. "Let's get Catherine," she said. "She's part of our family now." David's eyes met Catherine's across the hallway. "Is she?" he asked his daughter, but he was looking at Catherine. "Of course she is," Lily said, rolling her eyes with the exasperation only a 7-year-old could muster. "She has dinner with us all the time. She helps me with homework. She makes you smile, Daddy." "That means she's family." Catherine felt warmth spread through her chest. "I'd be honored to be part of your family," she said. That night, after Lily was asleep in David's apartment, he and Catherine sat on her couch, cups of tea growing cold on the coffee table. "I never thanked you properly," Catherine said, "for trusting your instincts that morning, for being brave enough to risk your job for someone you barely knew." "I knew you better than you think," David said. "I knew you were kind to my daughter. I knew you carried your responsibilities with grace. I knew you treated the building staff with respect when you thought no one was watching. That told me everything I needed to know about your character. Still, you saved me from more than just a chaotic day. You reminded me that people still look out for each other. That courage sometimes means knocking on a door at 4 a.m. even when you're terrified of the consequences." David reached over and took her hand. "Some people are worth the risk." Catherine squeezed his hand back, feeling something she hadn't felt in years, not just gratitude or attraction, but the deep comfort of being truly seen and valued. "Some people are worth slowing down for," she replied. "Worth building a life with, not just a career." They sat there in the quiet, two people who'd found each other across a hallway. A single father who'd chosen love over ambition. A CEO who'd learned that success meant nothing without connection. And a little girl who'd known all along what the grown-ups were just figuring out: that family isn't just who you're born to. It's who shows up for you, who risks something to keep you safe, who sees your worth even when the world might not. Outside, the city hummed with its endless noise. But inside, in that small apartment, there was only peace, and the quiet certainty that sometimes, the best things in life begin with a knock on the door at 4 a.m., and the courage to answer it.